to the Daily Jump. And today we're going to be visiting with Adam. Adam is a storyteller, a writer, and a teacher. And he's been nominated by someone as to be a guest today on the Daily Jump. Adam, I'm so delighted that you could make this time to be with us and share a little bit about what you've been experiencing and what these times mean for you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a real honor and a gift to share space with you.
So, Adam, can you tell me a little bit about perhaps how COVID-19 has impacted your life so far?
Mm. Um, let's see. Well, I think like everyone, it's shaken things up quite a bit. Um, I was in Peru at the time, and I was with my father and I was traveling through there and was going to be leaving on my way to Guatemala to do some work there. And as we were there, everything shut down, and so I was in quarantine. The entire country went in quarantine, like much of the world, and so I was in a little hostel in the middle of the jungle with my dad for quite some time, and and it shook things up a little bit, and it's been really hard on my father, especially being in Peru. I managed to escape due to the Canadian government pulling me out, but so I guess it's been hard on some of my family members, and but at the same time, it's encouraged a lot more closeness and love, because I really believe that every hard experiences that come to us are it's really how we respond to them, and everything is always, whatever it is always a gift. There's a spark in everything. There's the no mud, no lotus. If you want to grow roses, you need manure. Right now we're in a lot of manure, but we have an opportunity to really grow within. So yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about what it was like in Peru when it went into lockdown and perhaps what it's like there now and how is your father doing?
Oh, yeah, it is. So when it went, they were really, being in a third world country, they were really, um, they were quick, and because they didn't really want anything to spread. So like lockdown, it at first, lockdown was, um, uh, everyone there is wearing a mask. Everyone there is wearing a mask, and uh, they have uh, police on the streets and kind of like marching around, making sure that people are following an order. And at first it was okay. There was like only 30 cases, and then it became 80, then 60, then 1,000, and so then it started to get progressively more intense, and so it got, like the restrictions started to go little by little. Before you could walk between like all the way to 6 o'clock, everything was open, and then all of a sudden it was like 3 o'clock, and then only men on one day, women on the other. And so it's been it was an interesting time. And my father right now, he he's in a hostel, not where not in his actual home. And I think like a lot of people, there's like so many people just stranded. There's a lot of people from all over the world, also away from their homes, away from their communities, their families, and they're having a really hard time. It's like they're I think a lot of people some of the most affected people are like just like mamas and papas that like can't really make their daily bread, right? Which is
Yeah.
a lot in a lot of third world countries, right? And so I think that these it's really important to keep these folks in our minds and hearts to really because like it's important to keep them in prayer, to really keep those people, and because it's not just the sick that this is affecting. It's affecting the whole world right now. Um and yeah. So
So, what do you think are some of the greatest challenges and greatest opportunities?
mm, mm. I'd say like some of the greatest challenges are definitely the fear. Fear is it's the it's the most dangerous virus. It is so infectious. I remember I was when everything happened, and I was super calm about it and like, okay. And then I just got off the phone with somebody, and all of a sudden, like, I was like feeling like anxious, right? And it's just like, and like, I was like, oh no, what are we gonna do? Is the end of the world and this and that and all these blah blah blah, right? And so that is, anxiety is literally contagious, and it is. So we need to be, as like we need to be like spiritual warriors and be so conscious and mindful of like what are we putting in our mind. What is like educate yourself, yes. Get like don't say, like put your head like an ostrich in the hole. And but there's only so much news that you can watch, you know and like and there's only so many things that you can read about the coronavirus, right? That in the end it's not serving your spirit, right? So it's like, and then there comes the opportunity. It's like, with the opportunity, because there are a lot of people that do have more space, and with that more spaciousness, it's like, what are you going to fill that space with, and what are you going to be filling your mind with?
Mhm.
And so it's like really filling your mind with things that are going to feed your spirit, you're going to feed your soul, and there's so many things like the Daily Jump, or like all these other places around that are just feeding that energy of light, right? And so I feel like, it's a great opportunity for people to ask themselves really important questions, to really like ask themselves, what, what, like, who do I want to be during this time? What is, how do I want to show up today? Because
Yeah.
like a lot of people there, with the fears, some people are afraid of, they're facing their fears of mortality, the end, like, which is a beautiful, the Sufis say that you should focus on mortality and meditate on it at least once a week, and like that's like as a practice. Because if you think you're gonna, if you're focusing, and the Tibetans all the time, and it's like, so if you're really like, meditating on death consciously, like, like that's really gonna help you live, it's gonna help you show up. And because like this is our only moment, is this one. And so, and it's also like an amazing opportunity for people to like come together to like just do simple things, to not just be so stuck in the doing culture, right? Where it's just like, it's kind of like on overdrive, right? That overdrive of energy of like push, 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 that's gotten our planet in such it's really hurt the earth that we live on. It's hurt our mother. And you know I think it just shows you, I mean, we're looking at, like, all the beautiful effects stopping has had on the earth. It's kind of a really good place to look to and reflect on, like, what can we get from stopping? What can we get from not doing so much? What can we get from to just be? It's like, um, I think it's really important to like feed ourselves and do all this, and then also just really important just to do nothing.
Yeah.
To just meditate. Like really, really be still and like take this opportunity to just rest, reconnect, and like go inside and find like what is actually important, because like one of the cures for fear and pain and is to like go out there and help somebody else. There's
Yes.
so many people that are hurting right now. There's so much suffering going on. And if you think you're having it hard, there was someone having it a lot harder. And even just taking the time and a minute just to pray for them and hold them in your heart is really going to help you a lot and help us a lot. So it's just really reaching out, reaching out. Who do you know that's like having a moment? Give them a call, love them, don't give them, Mother Teresa said, don't, like, don't care about, like, when they were criticizing her about like you're just one drop on the ocean, and she said God doesn't care about that. It's like and she told her nuns, don't think about that, just think of the one person that you're serving right now and love them with all your heart you know and I think that's it. It's just like whoever you're with, whatever you're doing, bring that love. And and that love is contagious, because it's like you give that love to someone and then they take that and they turn and then they'll give it to somebody else who goes around. And that's the way it works. And so
So, any parting words of advice that you want to leave people in as we close up this interview or this
mm,
conversation?
I would say that it's it is going to be okay. It is really going to be okay, and we need to believe that. We really, really need to believe that, and we need to like reach for that faith. Like reach for that faith and um, to reach for a higher power, for reach for that truth. Uh, I was I had a. I'll tell a little story. It was the other day, and I was just outside, looking outside of my window here, and I was just sitting and contemplating, and then all of a sudden, this fly started like hitting its head against the window. Boom, boom, boom. I was just sitting there watching it, and then I thought, wow, like no matter how hard he tries, it's impossible. It's absolutely impossible for this fly to, do what it's trying to do. And I actually went and I tried, I was like, oh my God, I had compassion for this fly. And then I wanted to like grab it and like, give it. And it went in for a second, but then it like it's conditioning of like, see, it went and escaped from me. But like, it's like if it would have known and realized that there's a good force, like there's a benevolent force that is right there, willing, waiting, and trying to help us, you know. We just have to like turn around and connect to it. So it's like really taking the time to connect to that force and ask for help, ask for support, ask for grace, and give thanks because it's already there. So yeah.
Well, Adam, that was really beautifully put. I just want to thank you deeply for joining us today on the Daily Jump. Thank you.
It's such an honor. Thank you so much. And thank you for whoever's listening. Bless you. May your spirit be filled with all this goodness. Yeah.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Mm.